hyperlink there. Wow.
Perfect. Yeah.
Magic, magic, magic. Hi, guys. Thank you very much. We'll talk today a little bit about how we can ground AI in causal reasoning. Let's start with a nice expression from Abraham Lincoln, which said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So today it's all about going beyond predicting the future to shaping the future. And causal AI allows us to do that. These are the waves of change in the enterprise AI space. We started by asking the question of what has happened. And we had technologists like Looker, Tableau, Power BI doing a great job at helping us answer this backward-looking question. We then moved on to asking the predictive question of what will happen. And this was awesome. We had lots of new platforms and technologies, lots of predictive AI platforms that helped us answer this question. Now we're entering a new wave of change, which is all about what should I do today to change or shape an outcome. And this turns out to be actually a lot more powerful question to answer than the predictive question. So broadly, in this new wave, we talk about asking causal questions and answering those questions. As a very concrete example, think about a telco use case where you're trying to figure out how to retain more customers. If you ask the predictive question of which customer is going to churn, it's interesting, but it's kind of academic, right? You get a probability of what is the probability of someone churning. What you really want to know is what can you do today to change that probability. And so with causal AI, we go a step further and we align the questions more closely to what the business really wants to know. Gen AI, lots of excitement around it, but ultimately it's still a predictive technology. All it does, it predicts the next word. And as such, it can't really answer these causal questions. One way to think about Gen AI is it's kind of your system one part of the brain. If you've read the book Thinking Fast and Slow. System one is all about like intuitive, first thing that comes to your mind. That's what LLMs do. They just predict the next word. They don't really think. They're just like, hey, here's the next word, here's the next word. What you really want, though, that's useful, right? But what you want also is the system two thinking, which is very methodical. It's about taking a step back, looking at all the potential interventions you can do. It's all about imagination. So can I imagine what I could do? And it's about picking something before you act, right? And so this is really where causal AI comes in. It completes the human brain. It introduces the system to reasoning to AI. So by combining the system one and system two, you have effectively everything you need. So you can have the fast, unconscious prediction of the next word, which is very useful for a bunch of stuff. And now you have the system two, the methodical, the reasoning, the imagination part that was previously missing. And so if you put them together, this is how it looks like. You may be able to use for the first time an LLM in the way you would normally use it, but behind the scene, it's actually querying a causal model to give you, the reasoning capabilities. So for the first time, LLMs now you can completely trust. They're not going to hallucinate, and they'll tell you all the reasoning behind the decision. And so this really opens up a new chapter in enterprise decision making, where people that can't code and are sitting in glass offices and their executives and so on, they can communicate with the machine in a natural language. But rather than the Gen AI just predicting the next word, it can go and consult the causal models, do proper reasoning, system two type of thinking, and come back with something that is trustworthy. So we think this is the future of how enterprises are going to be making decisions in the future. Data scientists are going to be building causal models for all the most important decisions. We'll be able to aggregate them up and provide this in the hands of the business that can just ask questions and get trustworthy answers. There is a lot of excitement about this in the industry. I met the guy that runs machine learning at Netflix, and he told me that they no longer use predictive AI. They've completely changed all of their predictive models with causal models. And the reason for this that they wanted to go beyond just simple predictions. When you go home and you switch on Netflix, the homepage is now customized for you with a causal model. They have now, for the first time, the ability to understand what individually drives your choice of viewership. When they had a big predictive model, the model got biased into kind of the aggregate population. It wasn't specific to you. So that's just one little example of how causal AI is kind of shaping large enterprises. So with causal AI, you'll be able to play effectively countless futures, measure exactly how those futures impact your KPI, and pick the right future. This is really what Netflix did for their home screen. They were able to understand all of the potential home screens they could show you, and then they could pick the one that led to the most viewership. And so with this technology, you can, for the first time now, apply this to your business use cases. And this is what our customers have done. You can see a bunch of logos here. Just to give you some examples of causal questions, a Fortune 500 financial institution was able to ask the question of, what can we do to improve customer retention? Right? This is not a predictive question. This is a causal question. By using causal AI, they were able to answer it directly rather than via predictive model proxy. We're able to generate 70% better customer retention without spending additional capital. A Fortune 500 electrical conglomerate was able to ask the causal question of how can we do better? How can we better balance supply and demand? Again, they were able to answer the question directly with causal AI rather than via predictive models and doing stuff on top. We're able to generate 19 million of ROI just in the first year of using this technology. A Fortune 500 drilling company was able to ask the question of what can we do today to predict mid-run breakages tomorrow. These are super expensive machines. You can see them there. And we saved them 30 million in annual cost by preventing these breakages. When they used predictive models, they were able to predict, what is the probability of a breakage, but that doesn't help you, right? It just gives you a probability. Here, you were able to understand the root causes, and you were able to change things today that will impact that probability tomorrow. Again, you don't really want to predict the future, you want to shape it. And with causal AI, for the first time, you can do it. I want to leave you with a little image of why you shouldn't use Gen AI blindly. This is what happens if you ask Gen AI to generate salmon flowing down the river. So next time you think about using Gen AI for your enterprise decision making, think about putting a causal model to ground it into reasoning. Thank you very much.